This is our double bill. Last night, Starfighter, Night of the Comet.
Kelly's a little missing in action. I'm taking pictures of spitting film.
Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you for showing up.
Oh, have you guys been waiting a long time?
No.
Okay.
We rescheduled everything, but
Yeah, it's been sort of a weird schedule today, I think. Anyway, thanks for coming.
Like crowding a cat here today.
Yeah, there she is. Woo! Kelli Maroney! Stairs are on the other side there. That's okay. You want to sit aside now?
Yeah, no, I remember that.
Have a seat. All right. We'll just push you off the stage.
I'm a sci-fi sandwich.
so we're here. Thanks for coming again. And these guys are happy to see you. And I thought it'd be great to kind of put this two together because they're around the same year and both have become cult favorite movies. And in some cases where people really know the lines to their movies, which is like, somebody came up to me today and said, oh, there's going to be a little Starfighter panel. I said, yes, and you start quoting your lines. And then somebody else said, and this is completely true, I was outside having a cigarette, and some woman came over to me and she said, are you doing it later? And I said, yes, you are. And she started quoting your lines. And I'm like, oh, I feel bad because I don't remember the lines. It's great that you have people who like your roles, like your movies, but I was watching a heck of a lot. So.
Well, they have been around a long time.
And they're easily accessed.
Yeah, like cable for a long time.
They've been on cable, true VHS, DVD, Blu-ray now, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's cool that people really love your work. And, you know.
Well, you know, James Woods came up to me, the actor James Woods, and started quoting that as a comment. He knew all my lines.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing like that's ever happened to me.
No. With him, that was like 150 miles an hour, right?
What's that?
With him, it was like 150 miles an hour.
100 miles an hour. Yeah. I'm sure they had ulterior motives as well. So.
Yeah.
Just as well.
I wasn't going to go there, but so let's start with the last Starfighter. So, an idea about a young man, video game obsessed, his girlfriend, and odd casting. You got Robert Preston.
I'm not sure it was odd because I mean, John was saying that that's the kind of the guy he had in mind when he wrote
Really?
it. Yeah.
Because the thing was, like, you hadn't seen Robert Preston do too much around that time period. It's almost like he probably went back to doing Broadway, off-Broadway, or primarily. And, but he, as it's been often written, he sort of played it like the role he did in The Music Man, in a way.
Well, that was the intention.
Oh, so it was written?
Yeah, it was written like that. He's like, this is the guy I want to see. I want to see, you know.
So it's a highly unusual film, and so I'll start with you two guys, because didn't do you two, so bounce back and forth. What was it like working on this? Like, do you have any memories you can remember?
Memories that we remember? Or memories that we forget? Yeah. No, well, for me, this was the first movie that I did in Los Angeles or Hollywood. I was on a show, Days of Our Lives, the soap opera Days of Our Lives. The original Kayla. And while I was still on Days of Our Lives, I auditioned for the last Starfighter. And, you know, I guess being the first kind of big movie that you are cast cast in you'll never forget. But plus, this was such a sweet, charming movie, and everybody that was involved with it was so kind and so excited about doing this little thing. Nick Castle, the director, he loved working with young actors, and you really felt that. And the producers, everybody behind this film, it was almost like, you know, the little engine that could sort of a thing. And you felt that, you know, you felt that sort of integrity and the love behind the making of this movie. And I got to work with this lug here, and we really got along. We auditioned together. That's one thing I remember so much about that. Is that oftentimes, and you know, we can relate the story later with you and I, we never auditioned at all together. But I remember going in with Lance, and I remember they were sort of having us improvise the lake scene, but it was more just like looking up at the stars, and we were sort of having this dialogue and everything. And I just felt so comfortable with Lance, and I think that shows in the movie as well. And we've stayed really, really good friends ever since. So I think that's a comment to the thing. So yeah, I mean, my memories of this movie are just sheer fondness, and I'm so grateful that you know, it found an audience, and that it has stuck with it for so long and passed it down to their children, and it's such a great message, and it's a movie that's like sweet, but it has a great story, and it's about the characters. It's unusual nowadays, so I'm just very proud of it.
And I am too. I'm very proud of it. I mean, we had this kind of, you know, it did have a sort of innocence and a sort of magical quality to it. But the thing is, we also really wanted to make it, like I wanted to make it something that I would want to go see. That's kind of what I wanted to do with movies. I wanted other people to have the same experiences that I had when I saw things that were really touched me, you know, and stuff that really resonated with me. And so I was, you know, very serious about it. I took it very, very personally. And it wasn't just like, oh yeah, let's have fun doing a movie. It was more like,
that was what I said.
And but that was my main objective, you know, and I came to learn that was also John and Nick's really primary objective. The writer John spoke a lot about the Once a Future King. He was reading the Once a Future King, and he kind of got this idea for the video game, like a sword in the stone kind of thing. And it's so weird that nobody had made a video game movie yet, because it was so everywhere. You know, in the late 70s, video arcades were everywhere. So, I mean, John just like found it and said, nobody else is doing this. Let's do this. And it was kind of a genius, you know, sort of an inspiration. But yeah, we had such a great time on this, you know, working together on the set. And we did it up in the mountains, you know, so we were in this trailer park where they moved the original inhabitants out, and then they gave them hotel rooms and everything. And it was a real upgrade for the folks that were living there. And then they brought in the Hollywood trailer park. So it was kind of funny. And they all, you know, drove in from the valley, and then they were like, oh, we're the trailer park people. And the actual trailer park people were like, damn, we get to go to a hotel. That's awesome. And it was way up. It was up in canyon country. You know, the location is still there, I think. But anyways, it was just really fun. You and I used to go down to the creek and skip rocks, and that's what I remember. And it was just, I don't know, it just had that real great, you know, we both, I think, identified with it.
There's a real purity to it, which I think you also see in the film, you know? It's interesting when you watch something that the people involved with have such integrity behind. You feel that when you see the movie.
So you two guys did not audition together.
No, we met the first day of shooting.
We did.
Yeah, in the Belmont house. And we were introduced, and then we started acting together.
There's nobody.
Yeah, I was just saying. Well, I'm like doing my speech and everything, and the dirty breakfast dishes and Muffy, all that stuff we shot the first day,
Yeah.
and we never met.
Yeah, we both, I think we were both in the final audition process, but she was paired with another girl and I was
Blonde.
paired with a brunette. And it was like, it would have been interesting to be in that room, listening to the conversation of how they put us together because, anyway, we're very pleased that they did because...
As the producer told me, because I said, well, we look nothing alike. And he said, isn't it great? There's something for everyone in this movie. Yes, Wayne Crawford,
Yeah.
class act. He actually was. He was a great guy.
And, yeah, and Kelly and I have stayed really good friends over the years as well. So we, yeah, we definitely connected. It was fun.
And people say to me all the time, they say, you know, I saw your sister the other day at this show I had said, saw your sister. And it's, you know, it's true. We just sort of became sisters in the consciousness, which I'm happy about.
I'm happy about it too. So.
Well, what's really interesting to me and possibly to others is that in '84, when these movies came out, a really odd thing about, maybe step back a second. Nowadays, cult movies, it takes a while, like, could come out in like 279 and like all of a sudden, like, because of special edition Blu-ray, people are getting into it now, that kind of thing. But her movies got a following right away. Now, they didn't make thousands and followers, but right away, everybody was interested. Like, anybody was like, fan of it, were like, the reviews from those people were good. Word of mouth was good. Okay. It's true, for the most part. But they started to do better in VHS sales, cable sales, DVD sales.
Well, the way that it used to work was that, you know, they would release movies. When I was a kid, they would release a movie in the 70s and it would be out for months.
Yeah.
You know, you'd go, The Godfather would play it for, you know,
All
6
summer
months or
long,
whatever.
yeah.
You know,
Sound of Music, years.
Totally. And that's never happened. The last time I heard something like that happen was like Forrest Gump, I think. Played for a really long time. But when our movies started coming out, boy, if you didn't make any money in 2 or 3 weeks, they just canned you. And so that's kind of what happened to us. You know, we were in LA, it was only out for 2 or 3 weeks. Other parts of the country, maybe a month and a half. But it didn't stay. And so they just were like, okay, well, there it goes. And I remember a studio exec said to me, oh yeah, you guys didn't make any money. It was kind of like, wow, I kind of thought it was a good movie.
It's all your fault.
And so, you know, and then VHS happened, but then they don't really track those sales to that degree. I mean, I don't know, I forgot. I don't know who makes the money on VHS, but I don't think it was the
Not us.
studio. And, you know, and I have friends that were like, dude, we used to have your tape and we'd play it every day after school. And so that was kind of, you know, that was like, it's kind of like being a musician, you know, when someone has the record and you just play, you know, when I was a kid, I played Runner on Empty a million times, you know, and it's like everybody, that's kind of the way it was. When you say people know every line, that's why, because you just, you know, they just watch it every day. What are we gonna do, Mom? Why don't you watch the last Starfighter?
No, because it was
You get in
also,
trouble.
you know, it was sort of inspiring and fun for especially a young boy to watch, you know, to inspire them to reach for the stars, so to speak. But it was in a sense a good babysitter for the parents, you know, and harmless, yet inspiring. So
I actually got a letter, it really touched me, that the person said, my mom had to work nights, and so you and your sister were my babysitter because I wasn't scared. If you were on the VHS and you guys had guns and you were going to take care of it.
Chicks with guns.
You know, that makes my whole life worthwhile. I had no idea that people, you know, that was really special.
there's this sort of silent foundation that has been building and building and building over the years, and like I said before, now it's passing it down to the next generation. I'm telling you, it's so gratifying.
Yeah, it really is.
It's the neatest thing. Remember that convention that we did, and this brother and sister, and they were just so excited. They were adults, and they had, this is the cartoon book that we drew of the entire movie, and it was like stick figures in a little tiny book of the entire story of Night of the Comet. And I was just blown away.
It really does.
Dialogue in there, all their favorite lines and stuff. It was really cool that they created when they were little kids.
You know, that's the whole reason that you become an actor in the first place.
Yeah.
Because you have to that connection with people through your work, and so that's what it's all about.
If you can do that, if you have a sense of that, it's just enormous.
But actually, you brought something up which is going to lead me to a question about quotable lines. So, you guys were in movies with quotable lines, right? And especially your movie, highly quotable lines, the Night of the Comet. And the previous panel I had here, the woman who was in King Kong Escapes, and the big one there is Kong, King Kong, and she said people were just coming up at her all the page.
They yell at you as you're walking by.
Yeah, because that's what I was going to ask. Do people come up to you and say, blah, 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 and you're like, per second.
Yep. This is true. That happens.
So besides it feeling weird though, does it feel like, wow, it's nice, that person remembered my lines?
Yeah, you know, especially when I was a kid on the soap and I didn't know anyone in New York City, and people would come up to me and they go, I really hate you. Because I was an evil character, I was an evil, lowly, deaf person. And it's true for me throughout my life is I can never be lonely because there's always somebody that knows me. And it's a good feeling.
Immortality through media.
What's the most mind-blowing thing a person has come up to you and said or shown you when you've done like an event like this? You know?
It was literally yesterday. These people came up to me and they had flown out here and they brought their son. And the father said to me, he said, you raised my kid. And I was like, dude, come on, you raised your kid. He's like, no, I'm not kidding. You know, my kid just really loved watching. He used to watch this thing all the time. And he became a state trooper, and he became like a, you know, and I met the kid. He's just a kid. He's like 26 or something, 25, 26. And he was a really, really solid, great kid. And I found out they were from St. Louis, and both my parents are from St. Louis for like generations back. And it just sort of blew my mind because it was so sincere. And the guy wouldn't come up and make that up, you know, they just weren't that kind of people. And it really blew my mind. Yeah, it was really like, called my wife, can you believe this? Makes you feel good.
Do you guys experience?
It's like you're part of somebody's life and you didn't even know it, but then when you hear about it, I was really part of their life. I mean, it's a movie, but still they have a memory of you that's part of their whole experience. There's somebody today that put off his surgery so that he could be here to meet us.
He was due for cancer surgery, I think, this weekend. And he literally put it off because he realized we were going to be here. He showed. That was kind of crazy, I thought, but it was wow, what a neat thing, I guess. I mean, that speaks volumes. But he postponed it till November 1st because the doctors wouldn't put it off any longer. That was pretty wild. That was wild. Yeah, you know, things.
It's really gratifying.
It is gratifying, and after all, we really are just human beings. And so, if you can imagine being in our position, I mean, acting is very, very challenging, and we take it very, very seriously.
We get treated really badly sometimes.
Sometimes, but for the most part, you know, you're kind of held to. It's sort of like. Sometimes if somebody sees you on a big screen, all of a sudden you're larger than life. Okay, so it's kind of trying to figure all that stuff out, and hearing all these different kinds of stories that we're talking about, like the cartoon book, or somebody hands us a plastic Mac 10, like a perfect duplicate of the one from Night of the Comet, and we were supposed to sign this. But I would say every convention that I've done, and I haven't done a ton of them, but I'm always surprised and shocked and intrigued and fascinated and so grateful for.
Touched and humbled.
Yeah, so touched. And I promise you, I never take it for granted, not for 1 second. I try to honor how any fan, feels about any work that I've done, because it really is honorable.
And
So,
as much as we're just of the fabric of people's lives, they're the reason for our lives as well.
oh, that's exactly right. I mean, we wouldn't be here at this
Here, that's
convention talking to all you if you couldn't have cared less about what we did. So I think I speak for all of us, that we're so grateful for that and don't take it for granted.
Every day.
That's actually a good note to go out on. You are in which room?
Cobalt.
The Cobalt.
The Cobalt.
They're in the Cobalt room?
I've seen
They're in
most
blue.
of you
Everything's
there,
blue.
haven't I? Yeah.
And, please go over there,
Yeah.
chat, buy stuff. Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it.
Thank
for
you.
coming. Does anybody
Thank
have-
you all.
Is there a question?
I like the t-shirt. Look at that. I like that t-shirt.
You two came out to Huntington, Long Island. We watched the last Starfighter. Both of you stood with me. We did and you were hanging off of me like you were my girlfriend. It was the
I was
greatest.
his girlfriend?
It was the greatest night of my life. You're awesome. Thank you. I just needed to tell you that.
Aw,
Great.
Thank you.
There it is.
Something we're talking about, I believe.
Deny. Oh, here it is. Well, anyway, can you fix this for me, Eric? It's my nephew. He wasn't there.
Oh, cool.
There you go.
Oh, I love it. Love
So,
it.
Thank you.
Nice.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right.